Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to answer a question that I think a lot of us had yesterday. We go get King Mont, and we're all excited about it, and I was like, even I was excited, and if you saw my video, I had plenty of reasons not to be. I digress. We're going to talk about vision cards and espers for this guy, because if you're like me, you found yourself yesterday both excited to have the unit, but not knowing which esper to build resonance with first, which vision cards to build a party with him with, all of that. We're going to go through vision cards, espers for this dude right now. Okay, before we get started, if you need some Visior, please consider using my Amazon coin affiliate link down in the description. Best way to support the channel. You save on Viz, I get a little bit of the money from Amazon. They got enough. They got enough. They didn't hear me say that, right? But they got enough. Okay, let's talk about Mont. Mont is a tank. And so in this video, we are going to focus on making Mont the best tank we can through vision cards and espers. Now, there's going to be some group buffs attached to that. We're going to keep all those in mind as we talk about him. And we're also going to keep in mind that he's a great tank against ice units, and that he can run in a mono fire team to even be a better counter to ice units, or just be a mono fire team, right? Mono ice is really good and we're not countering wind. So sometimes mono fire might be good. We'll keep all those things in mind. In fact, where we're going to start this video is on vision cards, and specifically vision cards that give a fire group buff. We're going to do UR and MR cards. Let's start with Ifrit. So you see Ifrit on the screen. First off, you're getting 323 HP, 133 attack, and 54 magic. That's a good stat line for a vision card for a physical unit like Mont. The unit effect is fire attack up 10. Okay, that's fine. Mont doing more damage isn't going to hurt you, but you'd rather have tank stats. The party effect is increase attack plus 50%. Okay, so if Mont's running this, he wants to run with physical units. Buff that physical attack. Then the conditional element buff is fire units will get ice resistance plus 20. Aha! So this card is going to be great if you're specifically hunting mono ice teams, or maybe 2 ice carries with a tank, or 2 ice carries with Una, or something like that. I think this card's a must in those groups, but probably not on Mont. Maybe on one of your other fire units. So I'm going to drop this in as a high B tier card for Mont himself, and you probably would rather have this on a different fire unit in your team. However, if you weren't running other fire units, but you're full physical and you just want that ice resistance on your Mont, you could throw it on there. It's not terrible. All right, next up, we're going to talk about his vision card, King of the Lions, Mont Leonis. Now, this card is even better stat-wise for him because it gives more HP at 423, 116 attack, and 4 defense. That's a stat line I can get behind for a tank. Okay, conditional unit effect is fire unit, which he is, AoE resistance plus 10, and attack up 10%. Really good so far. Conditional another unit effect, if you're Mont, Prince, or King, you get defense penetration protection plus 20. So you don't get defense pin, you get 20 protection against defense pin, which is really good. He's really going to like that because he's a very effective defense-based tank. Now you also get HP plus 10%. Nice! Okay, that's really good. The party effect here is another HP up 25%. Okay, F's in the chat for Golem. And then E, increase defense, debuff resistance. I messed up the first part, you guys. You actually get defense penetration on the unit effect. Oops, sorry. At least I noticed before the video is over. The defense debuff resistance comes on the party effect, which is actually even better. And you're going to get 20 of that as well. So really, really good party effect there for fire units only. Then you get an additional conditional fire buff for your group that is max damage up 2500, which makes this a really good card for PvE. If you're running a mono fire PvE team, this will substitute out for two-headed dragon or something like that. Okay, now this is an amazing card on Mont. I'm going to put this as an S rank card for Mont to wear, especially in a mono fire team. Now, if you're not mono fire, I'll probably drop this down to A rank. But if you're running mono fire, my God, this card is amazing. Your Luartha now might not get one shot. your Raldor, if you're running with Raldor, is even more tanky thanks to these party buffs. This card is absolutely S tier in a mono fire team and absolutely still A tier in a not mono fire team. So great card. If you're investing into this, boom, you'll love it. Okay, been a lot of time on that one. Let's go next. Next, we have an MR card, Path to Revenge, a card people have slept on since the beginning of this game. And let me tell you, this card is really good. Now, stat line wise, 312 HP, 82 attack, 60 magic. It's okay. The unit effect though, defense plus 10. Okay, tanks are gonna love that. Party effect, slash attack up 20. So this is good on Mont with a bunch of slashers running with him, and it's good for him. And then if it's fire units he's with, you get magic resistance plus 15%. So awesome. Now, there is the issue here of other fire slashing units, because that's your best synergy here. You're talking like Rain and Lilith. Right, I said her name right. Lilith, the girl on this card. God, why do I don't think her name is Lilith all of a sudden. Oops, whatever. The girl on this card and Rain are going to benefit the most as his party members here. In that scenario, this card is really dang good. Maybe like A tier level good, and it's an MR card. Even if it's not mono fire group, it's still giving Mont defense. It's giving Mont slash attack up with whoever else is in your group as a slash attacker, and giving at least Mont another 15% fire resistance. Amazingly strong card, and if you're struggling to build up your UR cards, this might be the MR card I started with if I was building Mont. I'm going to throw this solidly into A and just say, boom, this is a great card to throw on him, and he'll be a heck of a tank with it. Okay, next up, we've got Merilith here. 280 HP, 126 attack with 28 magic. Yeah, again, okay for a stat line. Unit effect is slash attack up 15, so okay, that's more of his damage. Party effect, increase crit damage by 18. Okay, so if you're running Mont with like a Titus or something like that, he'll benefit from that. Although crit damage is conditional, so not the best. And then the fire party buff is attack plus 30%. Not terrible, but not very good. Like, I think the lowest I'm going to rank a card is C tier on these rankings, and I think this is the C tier card so far. It doesn't really help him be a better tank at all, and it just helps him do a little bit more damage. I don't really see a place where you'd want to run this, so let's just go next. All right, Birth of a New Life. This is pretty decent. You're getting 461 HP, 32 attack, and 29 magic. HP on your tank is a good thing. Unit effect, guess what? 8% more HP. Party effect is luck up 21%. Now, luck is a tricky stat. We need to talk here for a second about a potential evade King Mont. If you remember the meta a couple months ago, Evade Warrior of Light was roaming around, and you'd run into like Warrior of Light, Little Leela, Ruinstern, and Warrior Light would be out here tanking and dodging and like doing all this crazy stuff. Yes, this is a dang good card for Evade King Mont, and at 120, Evade King Mont is going to be a better evasion unit than Warrior of Light has ever been. Okay, so the luck is useful here. Also, you get single target resistance plus 15 for fire units. Most of, or I'm not going to say most of because Yuna exists, but a lot of the counter evasion stuff is like Sharpshoot and Holy. Those are single target spells. So if you're feeling froggy and want to run Evasion Mont and you are struggling a little bit for like UR evasion cards, Birth of a New Life is a really dang good option for that. It has all the stats you want for that. I'll put it like that. I'm going to put it in B tier. It's pretty decent in that one scenario. All right, and plus single target attack resistance for fire units is just good. So, decent card. All right, let's talk about Lamia Queen next. 364 HP, 92 attack, 20 magic. Cool, decent stat line. You're going to get Ice Killer plus 15. Okay, so again, this is like that counter ice team. You're going to do more damage to ice units. It's going to give the party effect of attack up 20. Okay, that's useful. And then you're going to get strike resistance plus 15 for your fire units. Now, one weakness that King Mont has, one chink in his armor, is his strike resistance. This will help cover that gap a little bit if you find yourself needing to. Like if for some reason you're just getting dominated by like Jesus every day, maybe this is the card you turn to for that 15 strike resistance. Yeah, so I'll put it in B tier for that reason. It's really not bad, but it's not going to be one of your best cards for this guy. Okay, let's jump back into some UR cards, and now we're out of the fire-specific cards. We're into the generically pretty good cards. We got Downtime coming up next. The stat line on this is a little low, 288 HP, 126 attack, and 78 magic. You'd like to see more HP on your UR cards, but it's going to give you AoE resistance plus 10 for Mont. Now, the rest of the single unit buffs on this apply to other units, right? That's not for him. But here's where this card gets good for him. The party effects, HP up 15% and ice resistance up 12% for your whole group. Aha! This is a good card in a counter ice team. You're given an HP buff and ice resistance buff to your whole group. And then the conditional element buff is wind, so we're not even going to talk about that. I'm going to slide this card into like sneaky A tier if you're going anti-ice. Any other scenario, it's C tier, it's towards the bottom. If you're running anti-ice and you need some ice defense, this is a good card. AoE resist synergizes really well with Mont wearing that. More HP, more ice resist, gonna make him a better tank against ice. Okay, next up, Mask of Deceit. Now, Mask of Deceit is a card that young Mont, Prince Mont, had a conditional unit buff on. King Mont also gets that buff, so we're going to talk about this card. You get 305 HP, 125 attack, 55 dex, and 22 luck. Good stat line. Unit effect is Human Killer plus 10. Okay, more Human Killer's fine. And then the conditional Mont only effect is Wind Resistance plus 10. Okay, Wind Resistance is fine. And then increased chance of being targeted by 5. So, let's talk about that. That's 5 more initial hate for Mont. If you don't have him EX'd and you haven't gained that turn 0 hate from his EX support ability, this is a way to replace that a little bit without running Vow of Love. You're going to get Human Killer, you're going to get Wind Resist, and you're going to get the 5 hate without running Vow. The party effect here is also Missile Resistance plus what? 20%? It's pretty good. So if you're running like anti-missile teams, this is probably one of the best vision cards for Mont. You're going to get more hate, you're going to get wind resist, which is going to help you against maybe some Luarthas out there, and that 20 missile resist is really nice. Now the element is ice here, so we're not even going to talk about ice, but it's pierce attack up. No big deal. This is an A rank card if you're going against missile teams. If you're not going against missile teams, it's not that good. I'd probably pass on it and look for something else. Okay, what do we got next? Fenrir. Fenrir is always a good choice for your tanks. It is just generically an amazing tank card, and it's one reason why ice teams are dominating so much right now, because you just slap this on an ice team and they get a big buff. But for Mont, you're going to get 362 HP, 120 attack, 50 dex, and 4 agility. So Mont, who's already a speedy boy, is even a speedier boy with this card on. You're going to get the unit effect of HP plus 10%, more HP on your tank, always a good thing, and then the magic resist plus 20% for your whole group. Nice. This card is absolutely A tier. If you're running Mont with ice units, like if you're running Mont Orin Yuna or Mont Gilgamesh Orin, this is an S tier card. So kind of consider here, what's your team comp like? If you're running Mont with physical damage dealing ice units, this might be one of his best vision cards in the game. Fenrir's just that good. Okay, next up, we've got another MR card, Iron Giant. So Iron Giant going to give 384 HP, 80 attack, and 25 magic. The unit effect here is increased slash attack by 20, so that's nice, but you take a 3% minus to agility. Mont is fast enough that 3% agility hit is not going to affect him too badly. He can absorb that. He's going to lose like 1 or 2 agility. The party effect here is really nice. Slash resistance up 15%. So that's going to make him tankier. It's going to help in a very slash heavy meta. And this is just a really solid B tier card that you can throw on Mont and like. It also gives light units slash attack up 20. So if you're running him with like Rob, this is an even better card. Just keep that in mind. Okay, next up, we have Snow White Guard. Snow White Guard, 284 HP, 76 attack, 76 magic. That's not why you run Snow White Guard. You run it for the unit effects. The unit effect here is slash resistance and missile resistance plus 15% with a 15% decrease in HP. Now let's talk about damage resist Mont. This dude has enough slash resist that it's not too difficult if you have a lot of vision cards and gear to hit like 90 to 100% slash resistance. This card is one of the crucial cards for that setup because it gives him unit effect slash resist, which would stack with a group slash resist from like Horn Castle or Horn Solidus. Excuse me, Horn Castle doesn't give that. The Solidus card that Yuna likes to run gives slash resist to the group. You stack those couple things with Mont's base slash resist, throw on like a golden armor, and then give him a buff from like, any like 2B who can buff slash resist, and he's north of 100% slash resist at that point. He won't take damage unless they have penetration. So that's why this card is good. This is a fringe A tier card. I'm going to put it like low. I'm going to put it high B. I'm going to put it high B. If you're going slash resist or missile resist, boom, it's A tier. In every other situation, it's C tier. So I'm going to just put it in the middle at B. And what tier I give it doesn't matter. Just know this card is good for the slash and missile resist it gives, and that it's a decent card for Mont to run. Then let's wrap up vision cards with old tried and true Leonis Castle. If you're a newer player, and this guy's your first really big time tank, Leonis Castle gives 15 defense and 15 spirit with 280 HP. That's good. That's just good. And you know what? If you're running Mont Titus, it also gives 6 crit rate, which Titus will like. So if you just are brand new and you don't have MR cards maxed or UR cards maxed yet, Leonis Castle. This card just makes you tankier, and it's an R rarity card. Just you can build this thing for virtually free. Okay, that wraps up the vision card segment of this video, and we're at 16 minutes. Let's move on now to the Esper portion of this video, and we're going to start with Golem. Now, what Esper to build Resonance with is a question that you need to know, because you need to know what to be running him with right now to get him ready. Golem is a tried and true tank Esper, and by the way, I'm not going to talk about limited units and vision cards here. We're just not going to do that because you can't go get them right now. I'm assuming that a lot of people watching this are at least new enough to the game that they missed Demon Wall already, and that they missed Death Machine already, or at least a lot of people have. If you have those, you know how good they are. I'll just say right now, Death Machine's a really good vision card for Mont, or Esper for Mont. If you have it, good for you. But it's limited. We're going to talk about not limited. Golem. Okay, Golem gives a boatload of HP, right? 1452. He also gives 12 agility, which is slow, and then 10 lightning resist with -5 to wind. You can see the stat lines on the screen. What we're really going to talk about with Espers, though, is their potential in the skill tree. Golem's biggest thing is he gives a bunch of defense. He gives defense plus 15%. That's really nice. Then after that, you can kind of go with what you're fighting, right? Do you want pierce resistance? That's always useful. There's always pierce units running around. There's human killer if you want to do a little more damage. There's crit evasion, which might be an interesting thing when you're going against a lot of these high crit units like Titus. And then there's TP up, which you're not really going to need, and earth resist might be the other way you go there. So there's a lot of good things about Golem, and you can take him to level 99. You get a bunch of HP and defense. It's a decent place to start. Okay, next, let's talk about Siren. Now, Siren does not give nearly as much HP as Golem. Again, you can see the stats on the bottom, but focus on that 18 agility. She's very, very fast. So you're going to make your already fast boy Mont even faster with Siren. Her skill tree, you really want the slash resistance skills here. This is why you run Sirens on your tank. It's not for the stats, it's for the slash resist. She gives a whopping 20% slash resistance. Am I wrong? 7, 14. She gives 25% slash resist. Yeah, 25. That's really good. Now, she also gives water resistance. Mont is weak to water. Y'all know that. He's a fire unit. You can go pick up 15 fire resist from Siren to help make up for that weakness, and then, spend whatever points you have left on something else. You're not going to have many left. But those are the big hits here. 25 slash resist plus 15 water resist. Really good for Mont. You won't go wrong leveling Siren. Okay, next let's talk about Leviathan. Leviathan's stats a little better for tanks, like a little more HP, but again, sort of slow. He only has 13 agility on him, but Mont, not too concerned with that. The skill tree for Leviathan, you're going to get things like Pierce Resistance again, and Pierce Resist, okay, that's fine. Mont's going to like his Pierce Resist, but also Water Resist again. So, this card will be really good if you're targeting Glaciella teams, or you're running into a bunch of Glaciella. Leviathan kind of has that, like, counter Glaciella thing going on here. After that, there's Fire Killer in there if you're finding yourself fighting a bunch of other fire teams, and that's really all about you're going to want from Leviathan. Alright, next up, we'll go with the Fire Boy himself, Ifrit. Ifrit's stat line, because he can go to 99, lots of HP at 1308, 15 agility's fairly speedy, that's kind of right in the middle, 10 more ice resistance, so here's a good Esper to run if you're looking for that anti-ice team. You should run this on one of your fire units if you're going anti-ice anyway. Skill tree is interesting for this guy. Now, there's a ton of fire attack. That's the thing that Ifrit got a lot of with 99. If you want your Mont to do some more damage, that's on there. But notice the water resistance. This is a unit. This is a fire-based, not unit. These guys are Espers. It's a fire-based Esper that brings water resistance. That's really nice. You're also going to have Ice Killer on there for your anti-ice teams. Pierce attack up doesn't do you any good. Missile resistance might do you some good, though. Plenty of missile units running around. So with Ifrit, you're looking at missile resist, you're looking at water resist, and you're looking at fire attack. A pretty dang good combination of things for Mont, especially if you're going against missiles. Okay, Odin is next. Now, in a lot of situations, you're going to run Odin on a carry, not your tank. But you might find yourself running with mages or something like that. Running Mont with some mages. And in that case, Odin's pretty good. He's very fast with 19 agility and gives 823 HP. And he's not even a 99 level Esper yet. His skill tree has two really interesting things, I think. You can get both slash resist and missile resist from Odin. So on a tank, he actually makes you a pretty versatile tank. You can be good against slash, you can be good against missile. Both those things will stack with like the Snow White Guard Vision card. If you're finding yourself running into a bunch of slash and missile teams, Odin might be a decent option for you there. Okay, next up, let's talk about a card and Esper that are coming out really soon, and that's Phoenix. We're anticipating Phoenix dropping this next week, and so let's take a look at them. Okay, stat line, lots of HP. Right off the page, that's got to jump out at you. 1469, but 13 agility, pretty slow. Mont doesn't need agility that badly, though. Okay, you're going to get 10 more ice resist from this, so again, really good for anti-ice. F's in the chat for Orin. And the cast on this, the like actual summon of the Esper, is actually pretty good. You're going to get a heal, 60% for your allies, plus regen for your allies, with a decreased fire resist for all enemies, increase attack for water, ice, wind, earth, lightning, light, dark units for 40 clock times. It's a support summon, which is kind of neat for your tank to have, I think. Okay, anyway, let's look at the skill tree for this guy. Lots of fire attack. Just kind of like Ifrit had, right? But you're looking at water resistance again. I just think water resist might be a sneaky thing to throw on this dude, so Titus isn't out here just like chewing them down, or Glaciella's not out here chewing them down. He also comes with a nice little 15% defense buff like Golem had. Then Ice Killer's on there. Strike Resistance is on there. This is probably your best strike resistance Esper when it comes out, because you're getting what? 13, 18, 25 strike resist from this. That's really useful. The rest of it is maybe for PvE with like, magical creature killer, stuff like that. But this will be a very, very good Esper for King Mont when it drops. Now, the Vision card is interesting. Looking at the stats, you're looking at 362 HP, 142 attack with 60 dexterity. The unit effect here is HP plus 15%. Okay, you're going to like that. Party effect, magic resist plus 20. Okay, so this is like an alternative to Fenrir. Dexterity plus 18. Awkward number, but 18 dex. Good for critting units, something like that. And then Pierce attack plus 35. So, King Elda? Question mark? Like, if you're running Mont and Elda, this is absolutely the best card for you. Or Mont and any fire unit who has a sub-job that is Lancer. All I'm thinking of right now is Adelard, but I'm probably wrong about that. Don't run Lancer Adelard. That's bad. So, King Elda, eat your heart out. There's Phoenix, and that's the video. So thank you guys. This is going to be like a 25-minute video. Wasn't planning on making that long of a video, but here's the world that we live in. If you stuck around to the end, you are awesome. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Later.